How you doing?
Hey man, I'm glad to be sitting there with you in your stomping ground. We're in your neck of the woods, Elkins High School in all of its glory.
Yeah,
So I'm doing good today, son.
good. As we kind of wrap up the year, headed towards Christmas, I have a few questions, but I want to kind of go back a little bit to January of 2025.
Mm-hmm.
January 2025, it's a new year. We're starting off new. Obviously, as a pastor,
Right.
you have a vision for the church. What did you feel like God was communicating to you in January, on a spiritual level, on a physical level, on a mental level, as far as leading friendship?
Wow, that's a great question. I was talking about we're still running. Felt like we had started some things that were on point, but I knew we just need to shift. We need to stay there and dig a little deeper. You know, when Christ on my block, had to dig a little deeper. Making disciples, had to dig a little deeper. Certainly the part about trying to pay off that property and dig a little deeper. And a lot of those things manifested themselves. Our comb went to another place, and more people went into the training, and more people starting to comb, and our discipleship, we enlarged. We added some new teachers, put a new training in there, put a new shepherding component in there for coming forward, and of course, we were able to attack that debt. And so those were the main things. Just we're still running. You know, we don't need to shift anything or get a new prioritization. Just go a little further in, deeper down on that part of what was started back in 2024.
And you spoke a lot about digging deeper.
Yeah.
You said, we have all these different missions and all these different areas God is calling us to be better in. You got to dig deeper. What is, on a personal level, what does digging deeper look like for you? How do you guide people and shepherd people and push people to dig deeper, and then how do you yourself do it before you guide them?
Yeah. Well, my premise always been is that you can't really take others where you ain't been.
Yeah.
I have to go deeper. I had to go deeper in my prayer life. Had to go deeper in my transparency. Had to go deeper in terms of being willing to kind of share more things, not to micromanage the ministry. Had to go deeper in terms of really asking God, what next? I never just want to keep the church busy. I want to keep them about doing something that's going to make a difference. So for me, I had to go deeper in terms of into the Word. I had to go deeper than I'd gone before. I had to go deeper in my own life, of just examining my own life every step of the way. And also just kind of examining my motives. What's my motive for doing what I'm doing, and asking God to help me to keep a pure motive in what I was doing. And so those things, I had to confess some stuff about where I was personally, that I knew God wanted me to move to a whole nother level.
Yeah.
In not so much just my preaching life or in pastoral life, but just even in my private life. Just really being careful not to tell others to do what I don't do myself. That to me, that was the deeper part of this whole thing.
Yeah. And deeper we went. We did something awesome in November. God allowed us to burn a note.
Yeah.
And so it's something that we've been talking about and pushing towards. As we celebrated with we had the second line, and we had we literally burned the note.
Yeah. Right.
Fire marshal didn't know about that, but what was that like? Reflecting back, we're reflecting back to. I remember I was a little boy when we purchased the church, and it felt like we were moving on up.
Yeah.
To the east side. It did.
Yeah.
And so I remember talking to you, and you talking to the church about how much the church costs, and it was a lot of money.
Yeah, a lot of money.
and we did it. As you stood outside in the parking lot, celebrating with the congregation, what was going through your mind?
Amazement, humility, awe. I remember telling Elder Harold Jones that I don't know how many more laps we got around this track, but this is one of those huge stones of remembrance. I called some of my pastor friends, and Many of them had no experience in what it meant to pay off a property. They either bought a property, they owe a whole lot on, or they came into a property that's already paid off, but they never went through carrying it. In fact, it wasn't even on many of their minds about one day we're gonna pay off this property. It's just like, we're gonna just keep paying this note and do other stuff. But just to see how God brought us through COVID, how God brought us through some lean times, Jonathan, lean times financially, you know, and yet people wouldn't loan us money, and then we got the property, and in spite of all the shenanigans they pulled with us, we never missed a note. We were never late, never, never. And to think that a facility like that, God would allow us to actually pay it off. The vision that was put out there going into 2025, that's a big endeavor. Because we didn't say we're gonna pay it off, you know, 3, 4, 5 years because of what the economy is doing and what's happening with the political landscape. No, we said we're gonna trust God to do it. And I was just amazed that I knew God could do it. That's why we put it out there. But to see him do it in that way, in that time frame, and on that day, that party on the property, see everybody out there on the land that we never go out onto, to see them kids and to see visitors and see older members and younger members all playing and dancing. And you say, it had second line out there and everything.
Yeah.
And, you know, it had everything. We were waving the towels and everything.
Yeah.
That was one of those times in which you stand back in awe and amazement that we serve a great and mighty God. We say all the time that nothing too hard for the Lord. And sometimes it comes across as hyperbole. But at that moment, I knew God did something uniquely for us. And I was a part of it. Yeah. I didn't make it happen, but I was a part of it. And I was just amazed too. I could have made him, hey, now I understand why Moses at the Red Sea. And the Lord said, Moses, why are you talking to me? You know, go. You know, because of the fact it just seemed so insurmountable. And yet God parted the Red Sea. Yeah. And you're just amazed. And that's what I felt like. I felt like in that moment of time, God parted the Red Sea. For friendship. We're just ordinary people. Yeah. You know, we don't have heavy hitters in the church that I'm aware of. You can go to them and say, listen, I need $5 million. Right. Can you give me the $5 million? Right. And they give the $5 million and don't miss it. We don't have members like that. We got members who just need to begin again and trying to make it the best they can with what they got, trying to be faithful, trying to tithe, trying to offer, trying to pay their bills, trying to get their kids in school, trying to pay back student loans, you know. And to see God do something like that with the ministry of friendship, in which it was my season to be at the helm. I'm still awestruck every time I think about that guy, every time.
That's amazing. I kind of want to shift it more to you.
Yeah.
What is God in 2025? The assumption a lot of times is that, you know, you've been pastoring for so long, you know everything there is to know about God, you know everything there is to know about the Bible.
Yeah.
You know, you just doing us a favor by just shepherding us.
Yeah.
But I know that that's quite the contrary. I know that God is still revealing himself to you in new ways. What has God shown you about him in 2025 that maybe you weren't aware of? Mm-hmm. And then what has God shown you about yourself in 2025?
I think, you know, we tell people that God will be a comforter. God will keep you. This year was a hard year on the church and a hard year on me too, because we had so many deaths. I preached so many funerals and so many eulogies. The man who had the most intricate hand in raising me, I went home and do his eulogy, and I stood over that man, and that was a great man. I'm like, who am I to be standing here? And just grieving with those families. We lost young adults, and I needed God to keep me. I needed God to hold me. Grieving with those families, and you know, you say, no, God's gonna take care of you. God's gonna comfort you. God's gonna give you peace. God is our refuge and strength, a very present help in time of trouble. God's near to the brokenhearted, save those that are crushed in spirit. But I've been crushed in spirit, and I think I learned about God. I knew, maybe intellectually and theologically, but experientially, for God to really stand me up and help me to preach, and then to help me to cry and to grieve, to not be some plastic preacher. I got hit hard this year, and it hurt. And people sit on that front row, and I know when you're on that front row, everything sometimes the preacher say, the people say, it's like white noise, because your emotions are so raw, you can't hear it. And sometimes I felt like I was sitting on the front row. But to see God strengthen me, to be able to grieve with hope. Because there were a few times, there were so many back to back, that I just like, Lord, man, what's going on here? Get somebody else to do this. I've exceeded my threshold. And so I think that's the part about what God has shown me about He really is a keeper. He really will keep you. He really will make you strong when you're weak. In terms of me personally, this past year, 2025, has been a year in which I've been doing this now for a while, and you don't know how much longer you get to do it. And so that's been a reality for me, is that there's pastors I know have been doing it 30, 40, 50, 60 years. I don't know if I'll make it that long. And so trying to cherish every moment, every opportunity, to be faithful in the moment, because I don't know how much longer I have, pastoring this great church. And I ain't saying that God told me, okay, tomorrow you come see me, meet me up on the Mount Sinai. He told me that. But I know that I have more days behind me than ahead of me. I know that. And so trying to be faithful, trying to pour into another generation, trying to get some things done I know God told me to do in terms of ministry, longevity, and inheritance. You guys, I got grandkids, you got 2 children, and not so much just economics, I'm not talking about money, I'm talking about the legacy of walking with the Lord, living for the Lord, pouring into Drew and those kind of things. In other words, as I always say, work while this day, because night's coming, no man can work. I think now more than ever, that resonates with me. I'm not afraid, but the reality of this thing is that one day this will be somebody else gonna pass the friendship. There'll be a move, and I won't be able to do what I do now.
Yeah.
I won't have the energy.
Yeah.
I may not have the mental capacity. I don't know, but if anything, it's taught me personally, don't waste time. Don't waste time. To me, that's the thing.
You preach with a lot of charisma and vigor and bravery. You preach brave sermons, and a lot of times people might mistake that you're always on, but at home, you're a quiet man. You kind of, you're reserved. You think. Speak to the importance of having an outlet. What are your outlets outside of the church?
Yeah.
And then how do those outlets, especially in a climate like this, where we're in a crazy world. It's trouble going on. You spoke to all the funerals that you people you eulogize over the course of the year. What does that outlet do for you as a leader and as a pastor?
What you said, people probably wouldn't know that about me, about how my demeanor at home.
Yeah.
But my outlets are running.
Yeah.
I like running. I like exercising, because that helps me think and it helps me to get away. I enjoy doing that. I enjoy reading. I like to read, and that kind of helps me just kind of reload, refocus, and things like that. I also, I like being with the grandkids. I like, because kids, it's almost like grandkids give you like a second chance. It give you some stuff, that you may have messed up the first time, but just to play, man. And I enjoy doing that. But one thing that's really, really helped me, talking about on the outside, is being with you 7 to 9 guys every Sunday evening. the church don't know about the 9 of us getting together on Sunday evening at 7 o'clock. That to me, for me to be the old dude and deal with all y'all who are in your 30s, and we meet every Sunday at 7 o'clock unless, there's a special day or something like that. That's brought new life to me because I get to hear you guys. It's not churchy. It ain't everybody just gonna say the right thing and do the right thing. We talk about some things on that Sunday evening that people many times in the circles I traffic in, they don't talk about it. And that has helped me to think that you guys would want to be around me. And not just to glean from me, I glean from y'all too. That has helped me so much. That 7 o'clock group. To see the struggles, to see them, the girlfriend, the boyfriend situation in which they deal with girls and things like that, and marriages and their own life struggles and trying to career paths and all that. That's been enjoyable. So being with you guys have kind of breathed another outlet for me that's not centered around friendship. We got guys from all around the country. And that has helped me a lot. So those kind of outlets, I think keep me balanced, keep me to have a right perspective. I'm not just so locked into friendship that I can't have an external or a more global perspective. I always want to be global. Not so much saying I want my ministry to be global, but in terms of the impact, that's always been my heart. It's never to be quarantined inside of a building. That's my biggest thing. So that helps me a whole lot. So the things that I said, that's how I do it.
Yeah. You talking about your sermons. A lot of times we see you on Wednesday, we see you teaching, we see you on YouTube, we see you on Sundays, preaching the word. But there's so much that goes on as a pastor behind the scenes. There's so much just foundational work. What part outside of the bright lights being on and you in front of the people, what stood out to you, or what did you appreciate just about pastoring in 2025 behind the scenes? What aspect of it?
The people.
Yeah.
The people. I enjoy the people. There's some crazy people in friendship.
Yeah.
Man, but the people. I mean, the laughter, the jokes, sometimes the sarcasm.
Yeah.
Got great cooks there too. They're great bakers and everything. I just love the people. I love the fact that they say, that I'm approachable, but not only that, they're approachable too. And so I like the fact that I can get to know them and get to know their kids and their grandkids and ask them how they doing and tell when they lying. Tell when they lying, you lying. I enjoy people who are bubble people. They sit in their bubble and they start to kind of come out the bubble. That helps me so much because it's about the relationships. And I just enjoy the people. I really, really enjoy it. I've had so many times people ask me, well, can we maybe shorten the service by getting rid of the greeting time? I say, absolutely not. The greeting time, we need those hugs. We need that time, we need that attention. Even though many times we end up greeting the same 9 folks we greeted last Sunday because the other folks, we ain't got to the other side of the church yet. We go to them same 9 people. But I love the fact of the people. I genuinely, authentically love the people. Young lady told me 2 weeks ago on a Wednesday night, she said, I've never heard you preach on a Sunday because I travel out of town on the weekend. But I come here every Wednesday night that I can. And she said, and I drive over 40 minutes to get here.
Wow.
But I come.
Wow.
And for her to say that,
yeah,
and tell me a little bit about her life a little bit, and for us to hug and pray, that's what it's about, man.
Yeah.
I would have never known that. But for her to feel that, she's not a member of the church or anything like that, but for her to feel like, I can tell you this, and you would receive it. I thought it was great. And I never said, well, you come over, be a member. I didn't do any of that. Just, hey, whatever the Lord so leads you, I'm just glad you came. But for me, it's the people. It's being with the people, the laughter, the input, the ideas, even sometimes, even the criticism. There are people that say things and I know that what they're saying come from the right place. I can receive it. Pastor, will you consider this? Absolutely, I'll consider that. So that helps me so much. I'm so blessed to be a friendship.
Yeah. You know, 24 trips around the sun. You know, we celebrated on Sunday.
Yeah.
You know, as we head into 2026 and you run on for your 25th year, what is God showing you in 2026? You know, we did something phenomenal in Burning the Note. How do you lead without feeling like you have to one-up what God has done or one-up what we've done? How do you continue to lead? How do you continue to push us, but still remaining in the season that God has you in?
Yeah.
And not pushing for your own personal benefit of your own vision.
Well, because the mission not complete. The mission was never simply to pay off a building.
Yeah.
We cannot be in maintenance mode. We can't sit around and celebrate for the next 3, 6, 7, 9 years that we paid off the property and do nothing to honor the God or trust the God who paid off the property.
Right.
We got to keep moving. That should be a constant reminder that when we get into rough spots and tight spots, we say we can't do, we don't know, that God reminded, look what God did. We got to keep moving. The emphasis was not simply to get the mortgage paid and we own the mortgage. The emphasis is that we have people who become committed followers of Jesus Christ. People who can begin again. That ain't completed yet. We still got more stuff to do in the ministry. We still got more people to reach. We still got another generation to reach. We got people who are not even engaged right now. They're kind of auditing the ministry right now. We're not done yet. There's people still need to get saved. And they ain't got saved yet. And we're not in the posture for some of us to even be engaged and to be saved. We still gotta grow. People don't really understand right now what they believe or why they believe it, or even how to defend what they believe. We talk about a disciple, we think that's only for the elite Christian. For me, I'm just cool coming on Sundays. And that's okay, that's a good place to start, but you can't stay there. You can't stay there. And one of my near and dear to my heart is family. Because I told you and my kids all the time, I came from a good family, but my family was jacked up in a lot of ways too. On my family tree, there's a lot of jacked upness on my family tree. And I just believe that God is able to bless families, which they can enjoy families and being a family. Don't mean they're perfect, but man, it means that they ain't gotta be broke down on the side of the road and stay there. So we're not done. So when I talk about 2026, that's what I'm gonna talk about. We can't be in maintenance mode. We can't just sit and just bask in the glory of what was done. There's more to be done. God kept telling Israel all the time, remember the Red Sea. He never said, stay at the Red Sea.
Right.
He said, remember the Red Sea. And we must always remember the Red Sea moment we had when we gave that check to Amager Bank and they said paid in full. So that's just evident that God is with us. And we as a leadership, we gotta also, because it took so much to get there, we gotta now get suited and booted because the battle still rages. If the best thing we ever did as a church is pay off that mortgage, we failed. We failed. We're not in the business trying to be a mega church, never. We do want to make a mega difference, a mega impact. And until that happens, we still got more work to do. That's the way I look at it. So yeah, I bask in it. We got it framed in the foyer and everything, you know.
Yeah.
But man, there's people we still got to reach, people that we still got to grow. There's challenges we still got to overcome. There's some infrastructure stuff we got to tighten up. No, we ain't done. They ain't done. That's just a moment in time. We still got some more running to do. Yeah.
I think it's really cool just seeing that the heart that God gave you for people and really to evangelize. You still have. I remember you taking me as a little boy. I might have been 6 or 7. We were living in Dallas. I remember you taking me to go evangelize to the homeless. And I remember we got out the car and you said, all right, listen, Jonathan, keep your head on the swivel because some of them got weapons. All right, let's go. I'm like, why are we talking to these people if they got weapons?
They got weapons.
But I just always remember your passion. And so even hearing you speak now, it remains, you know, got a few more grays in your beard, but you know, you the same. You got the same fire. And you know, I thank you as I'm embarking on my leadership journey and kind of going through the ups and downs of it. You know, you always give a lot of wisdom, a lot of guidance, you know, and most importantly, support, just as my dad. You know, I appreciate what you say to me, but I also appreciate you coming to the games, you know, just as my dad. So I'm excited for you, you know, really proud of you, and I thank you for sitting down with me today.
John, this means so much to me to be able to sit down and talk to you, and you to interview me, man. I remember us being out there in Dallas going out to minister to those homeless people. And they did have weapons. They had sticks and knives, and they even had a billy club that had spikes in it.
Yeah.
Because they were homeless, so they wanted to protect themselves.
Yeah.
But we still shared the gospel.
Yeah. You shared the gospel. Yeah. I was trying to get to the car.
But I really thank you, John, for allowing me for you to interview. I've had a lot of interviews in my time, and but this one ranks above all of them because you're my son. I've seen you grow to be a great man and to grow, and you're still growing in Christ, and to be in your element. You know, they said, if anything is the epitome of me is this: we're not at the church.
Yeah.
Because I believe that the church should be mobile, should be able to meet people anywhere and everywhere. And here we are sitting inside a gymnasium, talking about the King of Glory. So I thank God for you, man. I mean, that you were willing to take the time to ask me questions that other people may not have known to even ask me, or maybe even been comfortable asking me the question. But you're willing to ask me the question because you see me when I'm public and you see me when I'm private, and you know me. And I thank God that God allowed us to have this moment together, that I could see what God is doing in you, and I'm proud of you. And I thank God so much for your son. So, yeah, it's been a good time.
Sure.
Love you, boy.
Love you too.